Hi, this is Kpop Notes and welcome back to my channel. Is this still a good time to say Happy New Year? I guess not, but whatever. 2024, a new year, a new opportunity for groups to create music, and for me to talk about it. I procrastinated so much while making this video, so I'm sorry for the delay. To be honest, I don't have much to say, everything I needed to express. You will hear it during the reviews, but overall it seems like we had a good start, which, as always, I hope it continues in the same way. With the introduction of lots of 5th gen groups, it will be interesting to see which proposals they'll bring to the table and how they'll innovate in order to distinguish from the tons of other groups that already exist, as the market turns to be more and more competitive every year. So should we say this will be a year of experimentation? I'm gonna leave that on the air, and without further ado, let's get into the video. I really don't want to say it, I really don't want to, but I have to be completely honest, I'm indeed a little disappointed about this. Roller Coaster was one of my favorite tracks of 2022, everything about it was perfect, production and vocal-wise. However, it seems like all the aspects in which Roller Coaster excelled, Quiz lacked. Despite both songs sharing lots of elements, such as the piano functioning as a bass line that guides the song and the summery vibe overall, for me the song's weakest point is the chorus. From the beginning, the song receives us with a playful melody driven by a piano, however starting from the pre-chorus I can already feel as if the vocals were containing despite the instrumental getting bigger. When the chorus drops it ends up killing the excitement. The hook definitely isn't memorable, and something in the mixing seems off to me. I don't really enjoy hearing the chipmunk voices doubling Siwon's voice, it creates a weird dissonance. I think I do understand what they were aiming for with the chipmunk voices, which is creating a really tropical vibe, similar to how it works on the Ramen Origins soundtrack. However, I don't feel like it was properly executed. I enjoy a little bit more the ending of the song as the piano is brought more to the front, Siwon's vocals become stronger, and the chipmunk voices are now used to harmonize at the back rather than just doubling. The album remains similar to his last EP, which I actually enjoy as it's filled with flavored pop reminiscent of the 80s and 90s. I don't hate the song, and it's somehow still enjoyable for me. However, he's composed better songs for sure. 7.2 out of 10. I saw so many comments about Rise now doing New Jeans music and how this was like a ditto attempt. I don't think that's exactly the case, but for sure I can see the resemblance as both of them are songs with a nostalgic undertone released during the wintry season happening in a scholarly context. Despite that, Love 119 has somehow a really SM sound, but a sound that really reminds me to 2nd gen groups, especially to some of SHINee's early stuff which displayed really romantic songs with quirky lyrics. It could be that SM is trying to push this retro sound as their concept. I mean, during Talk Saxy, both the song and the MV mimicked a lot of this older style. However, I feel like this nostalgic sound suits them more. It would be nice to set their concept as one that reminiscences of the early 2000s, with more R&B, maybe mixed with some hip-hop which is usually associated with a more boyish side. I know this may sound like a boy version of New Jeans, however, I feel like they could lean more towards the rebellion during teen days. You know how during some movies they portrayed skater boys as the ones who were just living their life hanging out with friends, with a high sense of brotherhood as a result of their personal problems which made them rely on each other. Well, I feel like something like that would work with Rise. Overall I enjoyed the song, the quality is as good as what SM usually does, and it goes well with the time of the year, and although it's catchy, I don't know how memorable it is for me, and how it will age. A pretty solid release. 8 out of 10. This surely sounds like an SF9 song, but what I say is almost too SF9. I don't know how to describe it, but compared to their previous tracks, I don't feel like this one offers something interesting. It's a pretty straightforward song meant for the dance floor, which isn't necessarily bad. However, in this situation, I don't think that is necessarily good. Title tracks such as Good Guy, Now or Never or Summer Breeze had that something I'm unable to put into words that made you feel amazed. The melodies were creative and the quality felt refined. But Bibora lacks that X factor, feeling almost old-fashioned. I didn't feel the excitement that most of their title tracks have made me experiment, and it felt overall pretty generic, which is a pity considering the abilities they have to pull pretty diverse concepts. Overall, it's an alright song for me. It's surely enjoyable and easy to listen. However, coming from a group like SF9, I must say I had way bigger expectations. 7 out of 10. After the song was released, I started seeing lots of comments that pointed out how they finally came back to their original sound. However, I do have some opinions about this statement. To be honest, I don't feel like ITZY ever had a definite sound, but if you mean the one where they threw random sounds during the songs, well, of course it died a long time ago, and even before the hate train to ITZY started, which I have to say, it was absolutely unnecessary. But something I do have to say is that since their debut and first comeback, they already showed that confidence could be pictured using two sides, the coolest and boldest one, referring to Dalla Dalla, but also the funny and quirky perspective shown with Icy. So having said that, for me Untouchable doesn't feel like their original or old sound, as for me it has always been present somehow, but rather it's simply a more mature version of what they've already exposed. What I love the most about the song is how aggressive it is without getting overwhelming. The song knows how to dosificate the power throughout the song so that you don't get sick of all that boom boom boom, intercalating sections that boost the energy followed by others that help you take a breath, just as what happens during the chorus. The power of the song is what makes me fully enjoy it. The brass selection is on point, and the way it accentuates the phrasing of the melody makes everything so satisfying. Definitely one of their best. 9.2 out of 10. And despite me really enjoying Untouchable, there's something about this song that always makes me come back to it, and that's what I'll be touching right now. You know how vampires are mysterious beings that give off almost this mystic vibe? Well, I feel like the song is the embodiment of that. From the very beginning, the song introduces us to really light instruments such as harp strings and piano, which especially the first one, is commonly associated with something heavenly, thus mystifying, just as vampires. Added to the above, the sample use seems to have an alluring vibe, like an invitation to listen to the song more and more, similar to one of the superpowers that vampires have according to severe books, which is hypnotic powers. Their soft vocals also seem to complement this idea of the song trying to captivate you, which would support the message of the song in which they're trying their significant other to finally fall for them. And I must say that definitely Ryujin is the one who stood out to me during the whole song. The way she delivered all her lines were so on point with the moment of the song, fitting perfectly with the whole mood of the track.
Fight me, fight you, boom boom.
I'm really in love with this song. As I mentioned before, it has an alluring quality to it that keeps me interested in it and makes me want to listen to it more and more. Definitely a song misunderstood by many. 10 out of 10. This release stands as a breath of fresh air after their previous comebacks in which they played and experimented with really strong instrumentals and industrial sounds by bringing a more melodic bass track that highlights their silky voices and creates a light atmosphere. Before the comeback, several members revealed how this song felt like something new to them, and while I can agree with it at some point, for me it still manages to have that only one of sound printed on the production. If we looked back to their previous stuff, we can definitely link this sound to songs like Savannah or even Angel. And that's the importance of having a distinguished musical identity, as no matter the way you experiment with concepts or genres, you will always be able to feel a sense of familiarity with it. If I could use a word to describe this, it would be pretty. The 90s synths give such a dreamy vibe during the verses that, combined with the lightness and airiness of their vocals and the sense of space created by the minimalistic production, make everything sound really clean and neat. Despite the chorus having a little change in energy, I feel like it helps the song break monotony by bringing something funnier. Compared to their previous works, this definitely feels more digestible, and even though I'm also a fan of their more aggressive side, I think that their style really suits pretty songs like this, a style which is also seen in the rest of the album, which I highly encourage you to give it a try. If you enjoy R&B and light-sounding songs, you'll definitely enjoy this.
Don't make me pull the trigger, girl. 더 알면 넌 다쳐. 다가오지 마. 반복되는 infinite time. Stuck in a time loop. I'm drawn to you like gravity, gravity, yeah.
Being this another step from only one of into the experimentation of new genres and styles, I wonder what they're gonna be bringing us with their next release, but surely, something we should be anticipating. 9.2 out of 10.
I wanna dash, I wanna dash, I wanna run it, dash, I wanna dash, I wanna run it.
If I thought Sonier was their best song to date, this surely is a strong contender. After a few releases in which NMIX left behind their characteristic mix pop, it seems like they're aiming for it again, but this time a lot better executed. Even if they didn't incorporate it as a long section or for a long time during the song, this just shows the efforts of the producers to actually include the change up when it feels necessary and not just randomly in any part of the song. And despite not being a big change up as the ones they used to do, this doesn't mean that the song isn't less interesting. In fact, I would say even without that section, it remains interesting the fusion they did between genres. During the verses we can find influence of jazz and blues, highlighting the pre-chorus. It's absolutely exquisite, the soul delivery behind it, especially the one from Bae. If the verses weren't interesting enough, the chorus combines hip-hop during the first part with a more melodic delivery in the second one, which rescues again the blues influence. The vocal delivery throughout the whole song is amazing. Not only the melody is creative, but their performance is on point, adding so much character to their lines depending on the intention of the section. They're truly setting the bar high when it comes to vocals. Dash sets as one of their most intelligent releases, in which they're adapting to the trends around the early 2000s sound, without forgetting to add their identity with mix pop in a more cohesive way that feels natural and digestible to the overall public. Not only that, but the song allows the girls to showcase their whole talent with powerful vocals and amazing choreography. 9.1 out of 10. One thing I have to applaud is the fact that, taking into account their debut and this first comeback, they're already building a musical identity that relies on a mixture of electro and EDM. However, for me this falls under trouble. Overall, I enjoyed the majority of the song, the production is good and the vocals blend well with the intention of the track. However, my biggest problem is the chorus. The song started well, their rap line is really interesting, I really enjoy the flow and playfulness of Keda, although the verses reminded me a lot of Jopping by Super M.
우린 어딜 가던 좀 시끄러워 Dreaming like a jinx 뭐가 두려워 줄을 맞추기엔 너무 별난 shape 되려다쳐 너 제발 me and my whole clique You think you're big boy throwing 3 stacks I'ma show you how to ball you a mismatch Opinionated but I'm always spitting straight facts Throw it back I'ma throw this on an 8-track Me drop I got my side you see.
The pre-chorus is also nice, and despite expecting something different with the beat drop, I didn't dislike it at all. However, I was still waiting for the song to release the tension, but when it gets to the second part of the chorus, it just felt really lackluster. I expected something more aggressive that could take advantage of the momentum. Some songs make this up to their final chorus where they end up creating a super powerful section by dropping all the instruments. However, this never happened here. Everything just felt really linear, the tension was never released and everything just went straight. Because my issue is the chorus, I don't know if I will keep listening to the song. I really like the verses and the bridge. I feel like this song really had potential, and there was a clear idea of what they were trying to do, but definitely, the chorus, which had to be the highlight of the track, could have been better. 7.5 out of 10.
그럴 때마다 괜히 you did me that for you and I
Something that I've been arguing with the group for the past comebacks is the lack of cohesion they've presented, in which they haven't been able to find their own sound, resulting in trying a different concept each comeback. I don't feel like leaving the house music they presented during their early days was the best decision, as despite being a pretty common genre used inside the K-pop scene, there aren't many groups that take the genre as the lead to their discography and explore its diverse colors. One of the few groups that I can mention is New East after their rebrand, adopting the title of an urban electro band. Adopting a genre as your guide doesn't mean you are limited in possibilities of exploring diverse themes, but rather it helps you keep a sense of familiarity despite diverse changes. With this comeback, it seems like they followed the nostalgic theme they carried during their last comeback with Loser, but this time with a more powerful message expressed with some guitar riffs and strong vocals. This is one of the title tracks that I've enjoyed the most from the group in a while. The song does a pretty good job at giving the right energy and making you feel the emotions of despair and sorrow that the character in the lyrics exudes by trying to hold his loved one despite everything happening in their surroundings. The chorus, among other sections, is the one that really makes you feel that desire of not letting the other go. It feels as if you were running behind that person, trying to catch him. While I don't know exactly how I feel regarding that post-chorus, I don't think it really bothers me. Surprisingly, I think it fits somehow and doesn't feel as abrupt as I would imagine. Overall, it's an enjoyable track that goes well with the mood of the month, but I wouldn't be able to add more about it. 8 out of 10. I've always been drawn to CIX music because of its production. Since their debut, I feel like they've always excelled in this aspect, with really clean and crisp sounds and clean vocals, but also because I've found their music to have some of a Western quality that reminds me to artists like Charlie Puth. If you don't believe, just take a listen. Because of that similitude, I appreciate the sense of space existing during the whole composition. The production feels minimalistic, letting the bass line shine by itself, adding a subtle groove to the track, reminiscent of the early 2000s, especially with those guitar riffs added during the last chorus, which were subtle but added a nice touch to the retro sound. The scenario that they create is really pretty, everything feels gentle and there's nothing that disrupts the experience. Despite that, the song isn't boring or linear, as it keeps on building up to the last chorus. I wish they would have gone just a little bit harder at the end, maybe adding some more ad-libs or incorporating more of the electric guitar. However, I don't complain much about how it ended, it was just a little nitpick. This is a really solid release from CIX that has the quality which has always characterized the group and the freshness that always managed to bring with their releases. 8.2 out of 10.
Now I'm feeling so free, baby, tonight.
So I didn't plan to talk about this song, first of all, because technically it's not K-pop, and second, because I did listen to the song when it was released despite me being completely clueless about their previous stuff, and it didn't end up captivating me. However, things have changed in a single day. I don't know when I'll be uploading this, but yesterday I had the opportunity to watch these girls live, and oh my god, the way listening to a song live changes your whole perspective of it is crazy. The moment it got into the chorus, I was completely out of words. Their stage presence, the music, and the mood, everything just aligned perfectly to make me enjoy the song. If we judge this debut from a really objective point of view, it has lots of room for improvement considering the girls' talent and the competitiveness of the market. However, overall this is just a really fun song, which despite not bringing something new, it feels fresh due to the emotionality behind it. In fact, I would say the song has this really distinctive JYP sound, which can be found in Niziu's music and the early Twice stuff. The song is the perfect combination of confidence and the desire of wanting to shine like a star, which of course, leads to a nostalgic song in some sense, especially the scene in which Camila goes from being in the training room to seeing herself on the stage, almost brought me into tears. Considering this is targeted to a global market, the song might not be the best for that purpose. However, it doesn't take away the fact that it's a really fun song that showcases the girl's vitality and youth, letting me excited to see what they'll present in the future. Yes, it's teens music, but it's good. 8.7 out of 10. To be completely honest, the first time I listened to the song I was really thrown back. I didn't count to feel like everything just happened so fast, and indeed because the song's just 2 minutes and a half. After that first listen, I also remember wondering why this sounded so YG, and well, you know how their songs are characterized by somehow empty choruses that result in a final party chorus in which they just go crazy and feel like an anthem. Well, this song has the same exact structure, which of course I know I didn't explain correctly, so let me illustrate that for you.
How you like that? You gon' like that? Like pink. Dum 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 dum. How you like that? Lady, lady, call me super lady, lady, lady.
But eventually, I just got obsessed with it because I cannot say no to a club song. Just as how others have already pointed out, of course this feels similar to second-gen groups, particularly Terra and 2NE1, but this isn't a completely new sound to the group. If we just look a few months back to the release of their first English album, we can see that they decided to explore the genre there.
I want the oh my OMG, I want that right now, no BRB. I want the oh my big black SUV.
You gon' make your ass roll.
Regarding the chorus, I don't have much to complain, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's pretty repetitive, but I feel like it functions well with the intention of it being a club song. I also really like the way they implemented some of the instruments, just as the snares, which make everything feel bigger as if it was a marching band heading to war, and the subtle strings incorporated before the chorus and during the second part of it, which contribute with a sense of drama that makes everything feel epic and grandiose. This is surely a new side that the group hadn't shown until now, so it may not be the cup of tea of everybody, but I feel like it showed the power that the group holds and demonstrated how versatile the group can be. 8.5 out of 10.